Thank you so much for being here. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests today, talking about really quite different ways of growing your business. It's going to hopefully be fun, a bit informal, and you must stay to the end because we have got a surprise and very tasty treat from one of our panellists. But we're starting today with Ashton Hunt from Tees. He is on stage. He's come from almost his hospital bed. He's had a hip operation, but he had to be here, which I like. Tees is an ever-expanding legal and financial firm. They were founded in 1913 and they have 6 offices in the region, 325 members of staff, and have grown to a turnover of 22 million. And the growth is just not about excellent service and knowledge, but by merging with other like-minded businesses. Now, mergers and acquisitions are a fantastic way of really growing the business very, very rapidly, isn't it? So we're just going to look a little bit around what it takes to do a merger and acquisition and what you need to look into. So thank you for being here, Ashton.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank
you for inviting me.
You've seen him on crutches. He's very dedicated. So a little bit about what sets Tees apart.
I think the thing about Tees is, the thing that everybody always says about Tees is what a nice, friendly place it is. People come to us generally with problems in their lives, whether it's legal or financial. Coming to you with a problem, is a problem that needs solving. And if you can come to somebody who gives you the assurance that you're in good hands, that you're in a nice, friendly place, that you've got really deep insight and expertise that can help you through it, and most importantly, you get the job done, then I think that's the hallmark of what Tees is all about.
And so when you've recently merged with local firm Wortley Byers, and I think people think, you can just do a merger, but it's not that easy. You have to really look at your values being aligned, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most important thing, particularly we're a people business. We don't have machines spitting out all sorts of widgets and what have you. It's a people business. And so making sure that your cultures are aligned is a really critical part of getting it right. Now, the first part of that is knowing who you are. Mm-hmm. So making sure that you actually understand the essence, what I like to call the essence of Tees for us, is really, really key, because I think a lot of businesses don't necessarily understand exactly what makes them unique, because all of your businesses are unique. They're unique for your clients, they're unique for the people who work with you, but actually being very clear in your own mind about what that uniqueness is, the essence of your business, gives you the foundation to then go and meet with other potential partners, other potential merger partners, to start to have those conversations about, is there likely to be a good fit?
So when you thought that maybe Wortley Byers was a good fit and your ethos and values aligned, how do you start the negotiations and how long does the merger actually take?
It takes a long time. Yeah, it takes a long time. I mean, our merger with Wortley Byers formally went live on the 1st of January this year. But in truth, our first conversation happened almost 2 years ago to the day. So we were almost 18 months in conversation. And so much of that was about testing the values, testing the cultural fit. We tend to operate with 3 basic questions. I mean, due diligence is a big part of doing any acquisition or merger, and there are lots of technical aspects of that, and obviously seeking the right advice to support in that is critical. But again, coming back to the point for us, we're a people business. And so we look at 3 really pretty basic questions, but fundamentally important to get right. First of those is, do we like them? So spending time with people and actually getting to know them and saying, actually, these are the sort of people that we actually like. The second thing is there a cultural fit? Are our values, are our expectations of what good looks like, are they broadly aligned? And the third thing is, actually, can we work with them? Because there are lots of people in life that you like and you're culturally aligned, but you probably wouldn't want to work with because for various reasons. So if we can answer in the positive all 3 of those questions, then we've got the basis of something that we can then get into some of the more technical aspects of a merger discussion that need to happen.
But so you really got to get that culture right. It's not just about going, I want that business, I can merge or acquire them. It's about making sure, because you're taking on, it's people, you're taking on staff.
I mean, these are about long-term commitments. The way that we've always done business in Tees is about looking for the long-term relationship, the depth in the relationships that we have. Going back to our history, we've got clients who've been with us through multiple generations, back from 1913 through to the present day, and it's that depth in the relationship, the long-term view of the world that I think is critical to our business model. So therefore, investing the time to get the merger right, with a view that actually it's going to be tough. You know, and particularly the early part of coming together, whilst you think that you've got a strong cultural alignment, in the end, it's a big change. It's a massive change for those who were previously owners running the business. It's a big change for the people working in the business. So you know you're going to go through a sort of cycle of change, and that, what they call the emotional cycle of change. But in the end, if you're looking for a long-term, really positive partnership and a long-term fit that works, all that pre-prep work pays off, and you get through the sort of speed bumps, that I like to call them, along the way for that long-term vision.
Because I've actually looked into a few acquisitions, haven't come off, but I didn't realise quite how powerful you have to have your values aligned. I thought you'd probably be more about finance and due diligence and the legal side, but it's if you're taking on people, and all businesses have people, no matter what they're making or doing, isn't it? So
absolutely.
And it is a fantastic way to grow a business, because there's no way Tees would have grown to, you know, this sort of 22 million turnover if you'd just been trying to grow your business organically, would you?
No, I mean, you know, our strategy for the last 10, 12 years, most of which predate me, I've been with the firm for 4 years, has been about a growth strategy. In our industry in particular, it is about scale. You know, the burden of regulation and the overheads and all the rest of it, the bigger you are, the more you can spread those across your, you know, productive elements, you know, for us, the solicitors and the financial advisors. So big is better in our industry. You can do it organically, and we'll hear lots of other interesting input about the organic piece, and we've done a lot of that. But the mergers do give you that big step change. It gives you a step change in terms of your finances. It gives you a geographical reach that you can't do, or is very difficult to do by yourself, to do it organically. And, you know, if you get it right, it can add skill sets that, again, is difficult to build sort of organically, or more challenging to do organically. So there are a number of reasons why it works, and certainly the merger that's happened here in Brentwood for us, bringing on board Wortley Buyers, very strong business-to-business reputation in Brentwood. Tees predominantly elsewhere is private client-centric. We were building a big presence in Chelmsford on the business-to-business side, so fitting together Brentwood and Chelmsford on the A12 axis.
Makes sense.
Geographically, it's fantastic, and of course, well, we've heard already about what a great place Brentwood is to do business, so it's worked really well for both sides of the merger.
Brilliant, thank you so much. I think, again, acquisitions and mergers are something that people don't consider as a way of growing a business, but I think Tees has shown how to do it, and do it very, very well, so thank you.
Thank you.
My next guest is not only good looking, he's the nicest person you could meet. I had to put that in there. He's inspired and creative graphic designer who counts Sony as one of his clients. He left his London job to be a freelancer, and then decided to use his talents to grow the business and becoming a leading creative brand agency in Brentwood and the area. He now heads up a team of 8 people. He's based in the heart of Brentwood. He has won awards not only for business but also for his design. He's got a deep-rooted community values, and please welcome to stage the creative genius, the Mr. Ideas, that is Matt Barry. Come on up, Matt. Come on over, sit down. Thank you. He's all embarrassed.
Flattery will get you miles.
But yeah, I think this is a really, really relatable story, because you were a graphic designer, you had a good job in London, and you went, no, I want to go on my own. I think this is what a lot of people do. So what made the jump from leaving a job to being a freelancer?
Well, I mean, it was mainly looking towards family, looking towards my peers and what they were doing. I'd spent many years at leading agencies in London, and thought now's the time for me to go alone, and also just to spend a bit more time at home, being able to see my girls grow up, because I was missing it all.
Yeah,
you know, there's long hours working in agencies in London. So, yeah, set up at the end of the garden in an office, and started to pick up work. I had a couple of contacts through various freelance opportunities that I'd previously had, and things were sort of ticking over quite nicely.
So what, because that's something a lot of people do, they work in their back bedroom or down in the garden, shed or whatever. When did you actually have that light bulb moment and said, if I'm really going to create a business more than just being a freelancer, I need to grow, get offices and take on staff? How did that come about?
Well, it all happened probably a lot quicker than I was expecting. And you'd be amazed at the amount of people that came out of the woodwork as soon as they realised that I was freelancing and I was available. Then they wanted to, some clients that I'd already worked with previously, come over and actually, use our services or use my services. And we got to the point where I was turning work away, and I was sort of working silly hours again, albeit still at home.
You're at home, but you're still seeing your kids.
And I thought, well, this is silly. I've built up a reputation and I've built up contacts, and I'm just throwing them away. If I don't give it a go now, if I don't start to build something, I'll probably regret it. So we've always built it on being organic growth, and so we slowly started to build the staff. And it was getting a little bit cosy at the end of the garden when we had 3 or 4 of us at some juncture coming to the end of the garden. And then that's when we decided we've now got offices across the road, and we've been slowly but gradually building organically to the team that we've got now.
So the difficulty is when obviously the work came to you, which is fantastic, but they didn't want Blue Serif, they wanted Matt Barry. And actually, as you grow, there's still only one of you, and you've got all the creative ideas. How do you transition from people saying, I want you, saying, well, I'm a team? How do you make that happen so that people don't feel shortchanged?
Well, it's about involving the team, and it's about growing their experience and their knowledge, not only obviously of the clients, and involving them in a day-to-day basis. We're all together in the office, and we're all sharing ideas. And we've had a number of opportunities. One of our team members went on maternity leave, so that was a challenge in itself. We've not had that experience yet. But it meant that it gave some of the younger team members the opportunity to actually move up, to be able to have more of liaison with the clients and to make decisions from themselves and grow their confidence, as well as also expanding their expertise. So it's about sharing that and giving everyone that opportunity, and also seeing in the team how their skill sets can really develop to help create the company and help expand in different areas. We've expanded into UI and UX sort of digital expertise.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, sorry. So user interface and user experience. So it's looking at websites and looking at how the users interact with them, and how design plays a really important role in creating that digital experience. And some of the team members have really taken that on board, and so they've put more feathers in their cap as well.
Because if you've got the end goal, as you say, you're kind of just growing. Actually, so team members come and likes this part of the business, and you're growing it. Have you got an end goal? Do you know where you're going with it, or is it just having fun growing the place at the moment?
I think it is having fun growing the place, and I think we're really true to our values, and sort of taking on
really
from what you were
together.
saying. And community is a big part for us. We've realised that Brentwood traditionally isn't a creative hub, so getting the staff and getting long-term commitment from staff has always been a bit tricky. But we've adapted the business around the staff, and we've grown, and they've provided a hell of a lot of loyalty to me for some reason. We've built that. So we've built a lovely hub, but we've also built that community, and also the range of clients that we have, both international clients, you mentioned Sony, we've got clients in America and Australia, but also the local clients, and building that up. And we want to continue building that up.
You have got aspirations to make Brentwood a really creative hub and start pulling together, because we're only half an hour from London, so why can't it be more of a satellite area of creativity?
Absolutely. There's so much creativity in London, in Brentwood, sorry, and there's obviously loads in London, but really showing that beacon of creativity in Brentwood. It's there. It's a matter of sort of bringing it together, really harnessing it, and showing that there's, together with a lot of other support businesses like yourselves, that actually for other businesses to come here, they've got a great marketing creative support that they can rely on, that they can help build their brands, develop their brands locally.
So kind of exciting, the Brentwood Business, what was it called?
It's the Brentwood, the Brentwood Development Partnership.
So hopefully we can really make this a hub, and I say as London kind of keeps growing, and there's no reason. I love that idea that you're involved in the art trail and quite a lot of community events, so you're growing the business, but from a really good place as well, I think, isn't it?
Yes, and I think for us, we've always been conscious that education is key. As we're growing the staff and getting them developed, then it's also about the next generation. So we're doing lots in schools. We're working with the Ursuline on an app project. We do some work experience with Havering College, with other schools locally, and hoping to inspire the next generation. It also obviously helps us. It builds awareness up of Blue Serif, so that if they're inspired, they know that they've got a place that they can actually... London is not just the one and only opportunity for creative sector. Brentwood can be as well.
Oh, I love that. It's amazing. Thank you so much. We haven't got that much time. We've got to get into our next guest. This next guest, she is a truly inspirational woman. She's not only survived both brain and breast cancer, the effects of treatment on her immune system spurred her on to invent her very own gluten-free bread recipes. Her bread packs are sold all over the world. She's won multiple bread making and business awards. She's just opened a commercial bakery. There is no stopping this woman. Please welcome to the stage, inventor, inspiration, award-winning, that is Davina, the bread lady Steele. Did you want me that way? Thank you. I'll sit down. So we'll just touch on your backstory, because we haven't got time to go through it all, but you've had a really tough 10 to 15 years before, and you've survived, and that's absolutely amazing. So, and that kind of inspired the gluten-free bread, didn't it?
It did. It's been quite a roller coaster, that's fair to say. As my background is a scientist and nutritionist, and I absolutely adore food, always have done, when I found I couldn't eat gluten bread, I was looking for it in shops, and the stuff was pretty grim, pretty dry and crumbly and horrible, and chemicals in it and stuff. So I felt like I was moaning to my husband that I can't eat nice bread, and his sympathy was about there, really. Tough love, they call it, I think. And he said, "You're a scientist, nutritionist, you're always in the kitchen. If you can't sort it out, then nobody can."
So was this just initially you were just saying, I want to eat some decent bread, and you just were in your kitchen playing around with recipes and just trying to create something that you could eat for yourself?
I started the usual way by copying everyone else's recipes, and I wasn't getting anywhere. I thought I should go back to my roots, so I studied the structure and function of wheat. That sounds quite geeky, but that's what I did.
Being a scientist helped.
What it comprises. And then I tried to get all the different gluten-free ingredients, natural ingredients with no chemicals, to emulate that.
How long did it take?
Probably about 9 months.
Wow.
I wasn't doing it full time, because I was still working at that time. But then,
and at what point do you think, actually, I can create something? Because there's so many people with different stories of why they can't eat gluten. But there's people with bad celiac disease as well. So when you say, actually, there might be a market for this?
I wasn't even thinking that at the time. I'd taken it to my nutrition clients and around a few local farm shops and delis, just to see what the feedback was going. Then my husband and I said, let's do food festivals.
Oh, so there wasn't a big business idea? You just thought you just...
I didn't plan this business. Well, I had a business plan after.
Eventually, but at first it was just you wanted to share what you're doing.
It kind of happened upon me rather than me going for it at the start. So I made this great bread, finally cracked it, I thought, and I saw this competition called the World Bread Awards. So I thought I'd do a cheeky little entry, and I got 3 medals.
Okay. What did you get the medals in?
It was for 3 different breads, for the gluten-free category. So I got gold, silver, and a bronze. And I thought, okay.
That might be quite good as bread making.
Had gone because of all the treatment and stuff, so I'm feeling a bit cheeky here. And there was another competition to win 50,000 of seed funding. Okay, I can do this. So I entered, I got through to the shortlist, and I literally just turned up with a loaf of bread and an idea, and pitched, and got funding.
So it was just kind of the luck of it coming along that you got. You obviously had a very good product and you developed it, but it wasn't this big goal that you were going to take over the world of gluten-free.
This at all, no. I really hadn't.
I love this. It sounds so awful. It was quite so random.
So awful, because everyone's supposed to have such a big plan ahead. Obviously, I had to sort out my business plan and staff and everything else after that. But So I got the seed funding, and that went towards more product development, branding,
So how would you
market research.
I think having art as in food company, how difficult is it? So I've got this product, it's a good idea, someone believes in me, has given me funding, but how do you actually get it onto shelves? Because I mean, you sell packs you make your own bread at home, don't you?
That's how it started, because we just couldn't afford a bakery. Everyone was asking for final baked product, but that's a big investment. We haven't got that. We have used a lot of our pensions in addition to the investment, but so we thought, okay, kits and mixes, and that's really good because they're so easy to make. So we're pleased with that. They're going very well. They're in Sainsbury's at the moment. Co-op,
So if
Ocado.
anyone so, they want to say, you just go, it's in Sainsbury's, but you don't just, Sainsbury's doesn't come to you and want to buy your bread mixes, do they?
Gosh, retail buyers, please. I hope there's none here.
It's a long and difficult, so how do you even knock on the door?
You try to get introductions if you can't. I know that one of the guys that we've taken on was the sales director from Tiptree, Wilkin & Son. So he came to us having all his friends and colleagues over many years who are buyers. But what happens is you spend about, he had contacts. If I'd phoned up and said, I'm Davina, they go, oh, sorry, they're not available for 6 months,
Yeah.
He phones up and they say, oh, come for coffee.
Door opening, good thing.
But the number of times you go through all the loops and I go there.
Get all excited, it's
make
gonna
bread in front
happen,
of them
yeah.
and give them samples so that they can take them home and see how they are. And they go, yes, we're going to take it, give us your commercials. And then the buyer leaves and they take a new buyer and you have to start all over again. And I can't tell you how many times that's happened.
So how long does it take from starting to open doors to actually getting your stuff on the shelves?
For the small guys, it could be 2 weeks. The big guys, we're in much more of a hurry than they. Well, they've got to delist somebody to put us on their shelves. So they can't just say, go away next week. They've got to kind of plan ahead.
So you're selling it in the supermarkets, and then so now you've just bought a commercial bakery, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got more investment, so we're able to do that.
It's been tough, but how's the commercial bakery going?
Fantastic. When we moved in, it was derelict because it had been empty for about 6 months. It was a previous bakery and we were going to go in and clean up, and it was the most grim sight you could ever see. Thought about walking away, but no, we worked hard for this. So now we have a beautiful bakery. We've got 2 great bakers.
And it's 100% gluten-free, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And if you want to, we have got a surprise from Davina, if you can start to guess what it might be if you stay to the end. And they are delicious, I've had one already. So what's going to happen now? Like, what's your plan? So this is a pretty good artisan food story, isn't it? That you've managed to get it into supermarkets and you've got your own bakery. So what's going to be next?
Okay. We are just launching, because we've got the baked products now, the people who are taking our kits and mixes have said they will take the baked products. That's great. We have long shelf life snacks and things, and obviously flash frozen other things because we can't deliver fresh bread every day. And that's all fine and dandy. But now we can deliver to hotels, coffee chains.
So there's a big market for the hotels.
Corporates.
The gluten-free bread.
Yeah, and
it is delicious.
Work
It is
as well,
really
so.
I
I didn't bring any bread today, I'm afraid.
It's biscuits, it's good. Fantastic. So you just very briefly had a few issues around branding, didn't you? And then you kind of...
Oh gosh, we had
It's a whole can of worms, isn't it? But your initial branding wasn't really quite right. And I think it's important to, if you are putting something to market, to get it done, but then actually have the courage to say, we need to change.
Yeah, the initial branding and the company we were working with it ended in us having to take them to court, unfortunately. It didn't get as far as court before it's settled, but I don't like conflict. That was really tough.
Yeah.
And, financially that was difficult at the time. But we found this fantastic chap who was just like you were at the start, working on his own. He just managed to get right inside my head, knew exactly what we were looking for, and we work so well together now. He's created an amazing brand that all the bigger retailers wouldn't touch our stuff before.
Wow. So
And
that is the
go,
power.
that branding is strong.
You'd be with Davina on this, wouldn't you,
Absolutely.
mate?
Stuff inside the
Makes
boxes
a huge
is
difference.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's the brand that sold it.
Amazing. I just love the story. I love the way that it was so random and just kind of happened. But and I think when you told me the story that being able to see little kids who are really gluten intolerant, being able to actually...
Oh, it's so cute. When they come to the festivals with their parents, the parents are saying to the other children, no, don't touch, because that's, they take the celiac one or the gluten intolerant one out with the other kids. Everyone can eat anything. They go, you can't have anything today.
No, Davina to the rescue.
I know. And they come and taste it, and they run back to the, Mum, come and taste this one, come and taste this one. Oh, yes.
Oh, amazing, amazing. I say, artists in food, I think would be a wonderful thing to get. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, my final guest actually took on the mantle of his family business. In the last 47 years, Baker Labels has seen huge changes in the way labels are printed and manufactured. Steve has stayed ahead of the game through investment not only in cutting-edge technology, but importantly in his people. He's the only business I know that even has their own chief happiness officer. Please welcome to the stage the kind-hearted, the very clever, and the all a bit charming Steve Baker. Okay, yeah. Come on, Steve. Do you like my introduction?
Fantastic, I love it.
Come and sit down, thank you. This is an interesting stat. Family businesses, a lot of people go into business with family and friends. If every family or friend that you have on business who is starting out, you have a 30% more chance of it failing. It's not a good thing to do. And only 10% of businesses last more than 19 years. So you're kind of bucking the trend there, Steve.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So did you worked with your dad when you're quite, when you sort of left school and things. Have you always been with Baker Labels?
Always, yeah.
Always is
it's
all you
the
know?
only job I've done. When your father starts a business, if you want to see him, it's a bit like you wanting to see your daughters. I used to have to go to work with him at the weekends, so I started when I was about 11, 12, doing that at the weekends, and then school holidays, and then so on, and the rest of it is just a bit of a blur, really.
So it was always what you were going to do. Go.
Pretty much so. It was difficult because in the early days, my dad was fighting to keep the business going. So you sort of get caught up in the business, and then you get good at it, and then if you want to go off and do something else, you're going to be going to have a big effect on that business by not being there. So
did you go off and do something else?
No.
You're like the perfect son, aren't you?
I did want to a couple of times, but it's you find other things to do, and and long term it's paid off. Now, not just now, but for the last 30 years, I've absolutely loved it. I really enjoy what we do. I love the building of the business. I love the people. I love the product. I love the customers. It's just a great place to be.
It's really interesting because I've photographed there. And how many staff have you got now?
95, I think now.
Almost 100. I mean, that's a big business.
We did get to 98, and Mandy was like getting twitchy.
Can we just employ a couple of people, make it 3 figures? Yeah. But and as these businesses grow, it's so difficult to keep that family feel. But there is quite a remarkable, and everyone on the stage, we're talking about people, aren't we? That's how you grow a business. And it does feel like it could almost just be 10 people working there, the way that it's a family, isn't it?
It is very much so. I mean, everybody says to me at the beginning, don't employ family and friends. Our whole business is built on family and friends. The only one that didn't survive was my sister right in the early days. And that didn't go too well. But apart from that, it is.
Because you employ families within your staffing.
That's right. Yeah, we've got we have married couples. We've now got in the business. But it's it's not just a random thing of anyone that we know can come along and join us. But we do tend to start them young because we need. We need sort of extra hands during the holiday periods, and so we get a lot of guys. Our boys came to Brentwood School, so we have a lot of their mates. Used to come along during the school holidays. A few of those are now working with us full time, so they come in that way. We have sons, daughters might come in. That we got a couple of our guys have been there for 30 years, and one of our chaps, his son is now working with us. He's on an apprentice program. And that I like as well, because I think if your staff want to bring their family in, it shows that there's the strength of the company.
If people are thinking of going to business, because you've got Mandy, your wife, who works with you as well.
Chief Happiness
Officer. She's Chief Happiness Officer, but she's involved in the finance as well, isn't she?
She is,
yeah.
Yes.
And your son's working there. So is there any top tips if you because I got divorced over my first business, so I wouldn't highly recommend family, but it's working for you. So have you got any top tips for how you manage that?
Well, I suppose my son being the most recent member to join, I think really it's allow them to grow and develop. It's no good being, my father was very much, you've got to start off with cleaning the toilets and painting the walls and things like that, sweeping the floors. That's all old hat now. The kids coming through are normally very smart. It's a completely different generation, and so they've got skills that we can't even imagine. So with Harry especially, it's allowing him to develop. He's actually now looking to create a baker academy within the company, because we realise that it's where are we getting that next generation from? How are they going to really know our business and understand it? It's a niche business. It's not as if there's not a college course out there that's learning our business. So we've got to train from within, and I think that's the key thing is allowing your people to develop. Allowing if it's family members, allowing them to develop, not laying down hard and fast rules.
That's amazing. And so, because manufacturing, I know you print labels, but it's quite as good like manufacturing, isn't it? Like it must have been so many changes.
Yeah.
And I do know that you like buying a few toys, don't you? He's got this beautiful factory full of these fancy machines that do all sorts of different labelling. But has there been a deliberate growth on that? Have you or is it just as the industry keeps developing, you will just keep changing?
No, very much so. It is a deliberate growth. We choose the niche new ideas that are coming out. We're a trade printer, so our main customer base is other label printers, print brokers, print management companies. And so if there's a new idea, new equipment comes along, we know that most companies will only have a percentage of work that they can use that equipment for. But because we're dealing with the trade, we want all these small percentages from these companies. And so we don't have sales guys that are out there, we have internal sales. So our growth is we invest in new equipment, we promote the fact we've got that equipment, and then people come to us because they need to use that equipment.
Because you're quite niche and quite high end stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about mergers or acquisitions?
We've bought a couple of companies along the way, but it's always been small areas where companies are failing or people want to retire, and it's been that. It's not been anything big. In fairness, we get approached probably once a week for people that want to buy us.
Oh wow!
So
what stops you from doing that? You
I
love
love
it
it too much. I love it too much. Yeah, and I do, and I think at the end of the day, what are you going to do? So it's.
Well, I guess you must have you're close to 100 staff. You have a huge duty of care to those people, don't you?
100%.
And you probably know that if someone who's wanting to throw some money at you and buy your company, there's a chance they haven't got your same values, is
That's
that?
right. Yeah, and that is the hardest bit, is the loyalty to the staff. I've got one guy, he's 40 years he's been with us. His anniversary was just recently. And another two that are 30, one at 33, probably 5 or 6 at 25. It's they've given an awful lot to me. They've given me that loyalty. They've given me all those years of hard work. You can't just walk away from that just because somebody dangles a paycheck. It's not. That's not what I'm in it for. And I do love it. It's a hobby, so it's. If you find find something you love, you never work another day. So it's. That's where I'm at.
I love that, sir. I love that you just are so dedicated. And I think the whole theme, isn't it, through this is all about people. And no matter what size, it's about growing your team and really people looking after growing up from the ground up and growing young people is brilliant.
Yeah.
Any questions? I hope you've all enjoyed that. I love the way we've got just so many different people. There's different ways of growing your business and how you develop it. It could just be randomly just doing it like Davina or much more planned growth like they did at Tees. But have we got any questions? Go on. Don't be shy. Yes, Mr. Reid.
I think question mainly for Matt and Steve. I love what you guys do in community, but as a business, you've still got to make money. How do you keep that balance going in supporting community but still paying the bills?
It can be tricky, but there's so much more to it. The business obviously needs to run, but by building the business up to a certain point, we've been able to free up time elsewhere to be able to do those community things. And we see it as an investment as well, because it is investing in, if we're doing stuff with the education side, it's investing in potential new staff. And it's also awareness of us as a company and as a brand and as a service provider. But I think the thing is, with the community stuff, it's much like Steve said, I love what I do. I'm really lucky. And I'd like to think that the team also love what they do. And we're ideas peoples, and we just get out and we'll do different things in the community because we love what we do. And that keeps us ticking over. So that's how I see it.
I think our community side of things is not really so much involvement. It more is down to donations. We support a lot of the charities. SNAP, we support Kids Inspire. Probably one of the best things I think we did was donating to the food bank last Christmas, and we've taken them on as they're going to be a regular one of our companies that we donate to. But it's that was good. Yeah, we got probably half of the company went down and helped carry all the food in, because we were surprised just how far £2,000 worth of food goes, and how many vehicles you need, and how many boxes, and how long that took to deliver. Unfortunately, we were a little bit overwhelmed with how much stock they suddenly had as well. But it was, but no, that went well, and that made a big impact on the staff. They talked about that for a long time. We do know that some of our staff have now got involved with some other voluntary work on the back of that, so it's...
so almost the idea, once they started doing something giving, that it inspired them to go and do more voluntary work.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Incredible.
And we've had all the charities come in when we have a company meeting, and they explain, where maybe the funds have gone, the type of work they're doing, and I think that has a major difference on the staff. They see, because we have this thing we talk about, the baker's bubble, that everything within our company, because you are looked after if you come into our place. Everything you need you get given, and it's all there. And some people don't tend to look too far outside that bubble, and so it's good when we have the charities come in, and that encourages a bit more support. And there's a lot of other things we're doing. Kirsty runs a lot of different programs for us, and really gets our name out there, but really helps us get involved with lots of community sides of things. Giving time is the thing we've got to start doing. We haven't actually got too much involved with that yet, but we will do.
Brilliant. And Tees, you must be involved.
I was going to add, when you get a bit bigger, they tend to put a sort of three-letter acronym onto this, and it's CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. And I think the key word in there is responsibility, because I think when you're deeply embedded in the communities in which we operate, we've got 6 offices in 6 different parts of the region, but we're deeply embedded in those, and we don't exist without the support of the community. So I think we have a moral obligation, a responsibility to put back into the communities in which we have our businesses, and so we invest heavily into this. And it is about brand awareness, yes, of course, but it is about the inclusion that you get out of doing good deeds. From a firm point of view, we put a lot of effort and a lot of time and resource into bringing people together, different departments, different offices, different parts of the region, to do good in the communities in which we're operating. And I think the feel-good factor that you get out of that internally pays off many, many times over.
Brilliant. Any other questions? Yes, Colin.
Colin Barber, Brentwood Chamber of Commerce. Given this morning the council leader and the new chief executive were talking about attracting new businesses to Brentwood, I'd like to ask the panel what it is specifically about doing business in Brentwood which makes it your business more successful. Is there anything particular about Brentwood which you find is really good for business?
I'd like to take that one. Go, Matt. You're really...
So, starting up in Brentwood for us was obviously a personal choice because I live here. Not originally from here, but we've lived here now for 14 years. But being involved in the different aspects of Brentwood and seeing how it's evolved just over those last 14, 15 years has been, really interesting. And I think for us, we also saw that there was a gap in the market for a proper creative brand agency to be able to support the different levels of businesses that are from startups and entrepreneurs to well-established brands and organizations. They need that creative support that's aligned with their marketing and their communication strategies. And we found that actually we can pitch ourselves at a level that is a lot more competitive than the London agencies, but providing that experience and that background and that knowledge and expertise that they have hands-on ability to be part of. So we've actually seen loads of different opportunities, and it's great to see. Also, we found a lot of people have worked in London at different organisations and then are moving back locally to do a sort of similar thing, start up a new company or join together in a partnership. And it's working with them to see how their idea, their ambitions can grow from a brand perspective. So there's masses of opportunity, and obviously with the launch and the announcement today of the Brentwood Development Partnership, it's exciting times for Brentwood, and whether you're in a small niche area or much part of a larger organisation, it is exciting.
So Ashton, how much part of merging and Wortley Buyers was about location, or was it just about the fit of their company with yours?
From a geographical point of view, it worked really well for us because we've got the office in Chelmsford, which we've had for quite a number of years. And obviously the A12 link, it was talked earlier on about the links, the fantastic transport links that are around here. So linking those two offices together was a big thing for us because it gave us a significant Essex footprint. Mm-hmm. And of course, all the things that Matt said there about, the draw out of London. People often sort of say, oh, well, we've got the threat of London, people are going to migrate into London and we're going to lose people. Actually, I see exactly the world as you do. People who are, life circumstances change, they've done the London thing, they want better work-life balance, coming out to a place like Brentwood is a fantastic opportunity. So all of those things played into our thinking. Obviously, Wortley Buyers have been here 50 years, they were well entrenched, and we were just able to put our two brands together and hopefully over many years we'll reap the benefits of that geographical position.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Just actually on Colin's point, I mean, one of the big major advantages we found with moving to Brentwood, we moved to Brentwood 8 years ago from Walthamstow, and it's been.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise that. You've only been here 8 years.
Yeah, 8 years. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we moved in 2011, and that really was a massive lift-off for our business. Walthamstow was good, but it was old buildings, and it was, they talk about communication links. You try getting lorries down through some of the streets in Walthamstow was getting worse and worse, and the traffic was getting worse. But the key thing was the staff. It was you put an advert out for a job when we was in Walthamstow, and the quality of the people that you get through the door was a big problem. As soon as we moved to Brentwood, literally before we'd even moved into the building, we were refurbishing the building, and we knew that we needed 3 or 4 admin staff, so we put a few adverts out. And we must have had 60 or 70 CVs, and usually when we were lucky if we used to get 3 or 4 CVs, and they were all generic CVs that we used to get when we was in Walthamstow. When we got them in Brentwood, literally we started going through the pile and we said, well, we don't need to look at it anymore. I found someone, this one will be perfect, this person will be perfect, this person will be perfect. And that was the whole way through the list. We had trouble sort of narrowing that down. There's good people, there's good hard-working people in Brentwood. Essex people are go-getters, they're winners, they're the sort of people, they want to do well. So, there's good schools, you get good education. Yes, a lot of the guys, they'll want to be going off to university. They'll be looking for high-flying jobs in the city and all the rest of it. But that's not everybody, and it's still that next level down of the guys are good. They're good people. And they're of good stock. So it's So I think that has made the biggest difference to us, and I think that's one of the key things if businesses are looking to come to this area. You know, there's a lot of good people here.
That's fascinating. I didn't realise that, you know, just even the last 8 years you've seen such not a massively geographically huge move, but it's made such a difference. And as we're all talking about, we're talking about staff, aren't we? Without staff in our business.
You know, obviously, young creatives, the draw of London, Soho, Clerkenwell is massive, but a large proportion of our staff are mums. We've been able to put in a really adaptive, flexible working environment, basing the business technology from a technology point of view around a cloud-based system that allows them to work from home and allows them to be reactionary to their needs, and that's worked benefits because heaps and heaps of benefits to us because it's provided that loyalty and it's provided a service from them and also ultimately to our clients that is exceptional. Very, very.
They've had the London experience. They want to have a work-life balance, and you've got all that pool of talent. Brentwood's the place to be. Any other questions? Okay. Oh, I've got one quickly. Laurie's doing this.
That was subtle.
Okay. We're going to be saying, I'm just going to have one sentence from each person on your best top tip on growing a business. And then please do hang around because Davina has made the most delicious Halloween gingerbread men. They're very good. So quickly, Ashton, what is your top tip?
Dream big and find a way to make it happen.
No, I like that a lot. Go, Matt.
Be true to yourself and be loyal to your staff.
That has absolutely come across today, actually, from the whole panel, which is wonderful. What would you say, Steve?
A bit boring, but understand your costs. I see so many people and businesses fail because people don't understand their costs.
Okay, that is a bit boring, but it's probably the really super good piece of advice. I like that one, because ultimately you can be as nice as you like, employ people, but if you haven't got your costs worked out, it doesn't matter. Davina, what is your top tip?
Find the best people you can and look after them.
Brilliant. It's all about people, isn't it, and costs. Sensible. Thank you so much. A big thank you to my guests. They have been wonderful, and I just really sharing what they've been doing. So a huge round of thanks to the wonderful people on stage.